Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio with your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Parris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio episode 1055. This is your host Danny, and join me for this episode. We finally have the whole crew, and it's been a while. It's been a couple of weeks since we recorded together. And let's start with Parris, man. What's going on, Parris?
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. A bit tired, but it's all good. It's been a very busy week, man. So, and also joining us is Pete, man. What's going on, Pete?
Greetings and salutations. Oh,
how's everything over there, man?
Doing well, man. Doing well. How you guys doing? It's been a very interesting week, I must say.
Yeah, very interesting. We're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. But yeah, head over to gamertagradio.com. Post your comments and feedback. Also, you can find us on any podcast app. Super easy. Just search for Gamertag Radio, and we're there. Make sure to subscribe, follow us. Also, post a review. And if you'd like to be part of fan mail, here's how you can contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so, man, it's been a crazy couple of days, man, ever since the Xbox Games Showcase. A lot of people have been talking about it still, and we have a lot of things to say about it, man. So, I don't know, Parris, if you listened to the voicemail I sent you and Pete, the voicemail. You want to start out with that, or you just want to go straight to the? Okay, go for it.
It sets it off, so let's just play that and jump right into it. Here we go.
Hey guys, this is Colin, first-time caller, long-time listener. Thanks for all the content that you guys produce. Really enjoy it. Has really helped during this time of quarantining and laying low, so I appreciate that. Just calling post Xbox Showcase, and personally very excited about the diverse lineup of games that they showed, especially what they're doing with Halo as well, making an open world. I don't think it was a home run. I think they could have used showing the Initiative game that they're in development. Felt like they're a game or two short of really knocking it out of the park, but thought overall it was a good showing. Really, I'm calling about the negativity post-game Xbox Game Showcase. I get they dug themselves in a hole with the launch of Xbox One and the limited exclusives that they had throughout this generation, but clearly, in my opinion, they're in a much better position moving forward. And, with Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo, they all offer vastly different experiences, and that's a fantastic thing, in my opinion. I prefer the Xbox with the diversity that's coming. I like the PlayStation exclusives. I'm getting a little tired of the third-person action adventures that they produce, but I get why people love that brand. And Nintendo isn't for me, but that's fine. I get people love it, and that's awesome. We've just never been in a better position for gaming, and yet it's just constant bickering online. I just wanted to share my thoughts on the sentiment online post showcase. Looking forward to listening to more podcasts in the future. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
All right, Danny, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you know what? I really enjoyed that voicemail because it was a very civil. Let's have a great conversation about this, but the thing that I've been getting tired of is people attacking others. Let's say if Pete or Parris like the press conference, that's cool. If there's others that don't like it, you don't have to go and attack other people just because they enjoy the press conference overall. You know what I'm trying to say? I feel like with the things that's been going on around the world, and I said this before, this whole summer has been great because we've been seeing a lot of announcements from third-party companies, from first-party companies, and it's a great time to be a gamer. I think we should celebrate that. I don't want to start promoting console wars BS on the show and on Twitter, because I think it's not going to be helping the industry. Everybody's going to have opinions. I personally enjoy the Xbox Games Showcase. And one thing I have to say, I think Microsoft did a great job promoting the Xbox Series X. I think they did a better job promoting Xbox Game Pass. Right now, we're not seeing that. Right now, at this moment, how big that thing is. I think give it like a couple years from now, we're going to look back and we're going to see when everything started with the conversation of Xbox Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? So I personally enjoyed the games that they show there, because it looks like for me, I could actually play these games because I'm into it. You know, I know Phantasy Star Online 2 is not for everyone. You know, I know there's other games that is probably not for the whole crowd, but I enjoyed overall. You know, did I had issues with Halo Infinite? No, I think it was fine. I think I'm excited for the game. I think the path where they're going with the game, it's a lot better than the previous ones. You know, and I'm going to take it back to history again twice. One is the story that Parris mentioned to us a couple of years ago about Halo Combat Evolved, him playing for the first time at E3 2001. It was a buggy mess. And then, you know, months later, the game got released and it became an iconic, legendary game, right? Also, I know everybody's bringing up the graphics. One thing that I've been noticing for the past few months and even years, people will always highlight Halo 3 as one of the greatest Halo games, or that might say also Halo Reach. But I remember at that time when Halo 3 was coming out, the graphics felt like it was still from the original Xbox. Like a lot of people were bringing that up, and they were always comparing that game to Modern Warfare. And when the game came out, we still had a great time. We had an amazing time because of the story, because of the multiplayer. So I don't know. I think we're gonna have disagreements with this, and that's fine. You know, everybody's gonna have their own opinions about Xbox Game Showcase. I think we should just be more civil and stop attacking other people, man. I think if you have feedback, if you want to send that to 343, go for it. Do it the right way. That is going to force them to communicate more with everybody else, you know, with the community. So I've been saying this for a while. It's all about the communication, man, from all these companies to the consumers, and not be too quiet. I think that's not right. Even if it's like a blog post, Twitter, interviews, live streams, whatever you got to do to have that communication with the fans, I think that's good. And that's even going with Xbox. You know, I have questions about, you know, their messaging about no players get left behind, right? But then they show a couple of games that there was no Xbox One there. So if you're an Xbox One owner, are we gonna still get to play these games in the future? Is either through Project S Cloud, or we just gotta sell that and upgrade our way? Or, you know, I know they mentioned that almost a year ago, so it's just a communication thing, man. You know, but I personally enjoy Xbox Game Showcase. Was it perfect? No. Was there games for me? Yes, there was a lot of games for me in there. You know, so that's the only thing I want to say. I just want us to just be more calm and just be vocal, but the right way, instead of attacking other people, man. You know what I'm saying? So whoever else wants to take over, go for it, man. I've been talking a lot here.
Well, I'm interested to hear from Pete. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think, and this might come off as quasi toxic, but who cares what Joe Schmo or Joe Internet says? I don't get personally upset or angry, and I don't think you or anyone else should, just because of someone else's opinion. And yes, everybody here on the podcast, everybody on our Twitch chat, everybody on the Discord, and everybody on Twitter has an opinion, and not everyone is going to agree with you, and you're not going to agree with everyone. So I understand that as a fan of any brand, you will have certain biases, etc., but never should we as people or as individuals ever get angry as a result of that. I just think it's a waste of time and a waste of energy. That being said, I enjoyed, and I said it on I said it on our co-stream that we did on our Twitch channel. I enjoyed seeing what Microsoft did, pushing games, which was the one thing that everybody has given them a knock on, themselves included. They didn't have the catalog to support Microsoft being considered, top tier. And I think they did well. Were there things that they could have done? Absolutely. Were there things that we saw that, maybe left us a little, maybe underwhelmed? Yes. There's some questions I still think that haven't been answered and potentially maybe hasn't been asked directly, or maybe they were, and maybe we'll have answers to those later. But I think they did a good enough job to help sway some public opinion back towards their brand. There were a few things that I have questions about, and I want to discuss it with the two of you, and we'll get to that later as we get through the rest of the show. But I think they did an okay job. I don't think there's been a show by either themselves or by Sony or Nintendo right now that has floored me. And yes, there may have been some excitement on our parts on the stream, and I think Parris, you said the exact same thing on the video you dropped. I think it was last night, saying similar, pretty much the same thing. In the moment we were excited and we saw some things that we liked, but now that we've all had a chance to let that marinate and let us sit and stew on it, I think it's fair to say that we did see a couple of things that could have been improved or could have been done better. But I mean, again, it's all our opinions. Danny, you have yours. Parris, you have yours. The three of us argue all the time. And then going back to what you said, Danny, at the end of the day, we all respect and love each other. So we understand that's what it is. It's just us having a discussion about video games. So.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you bring up the great point of letting it marinate, because now that we've had time to, step back and look at the overall picture. And I even said this the day of, but when I was on IGN, obviously we're watching it real time and reacting to it. But, even when we had a chance to talk to Aaron Greenberg, I said it then and I'll say it now. It was okay. It was solid, but okay and solid isn't good enough for what they're attempting to do right now. They're attempting to change the narrative of how we approach gaming. And yes, Game Pass was absolutely the star of what we saw. And that's great, because we've obviously been praising Game Pass the past few years, and the fact that they were able to have a show where every game we saw was either on Game Pass or free to play is a kudo to them, is a win for them. Absolutely. But there, and this is the narrative that we're seeing on social media, which goes back to Danny about the toxic nature right now. People that are clearly fans of Xbox are upset at, all the trolling and stuff. Take that to a side. But the one point that I will continue to go with is, people keep saying, well, what about PlayStation? What about Sony? Why aren't they being held to this standard? Here's the difference. PlayStation has proven the past 7 years with title after title after title that is exclusive to them, that are AAA wow moment worthy. Microsoft has not done that in 7 years. You can love Gears and all the stuff you want, but the perception is they don't make great games exclusively. They don't. So to me, this show was supposed to be about their coming out party to show, here are banging games that are going to wow you as we go into the next generation. And what have I been saying for months? It was supposed to be Halo. Halo was supposed to lead the way in that. It was supposed to carry the flag and show that, yep, look at what we've been doing the past 5 years. Look at the power of the Series X, the whole thing. It didn't do it. Now, am I disappointed with Halo Infinite? No, I'm not, because, and I talked about this already. I think there's an artistic choice happening there, and we had a Q&A with 343 and everything, but it didn't wow people. And I'm just talking about what the majority of people are saying. Of course, there's people that are happy with it and all that. I'm not saying that. But it didn't have the wow factor that people were expecting. And that's where the disappointment comes in. That's where, like I said to Aaron, you guys, this is part one, but you got to continue to tell the story. That's why I was saying to you offline, Danny, no, I don't think they need to chill out for the next week or two. I think they need to talk, and I think they need to start talking now, like literally Monday morning. We need to start hearing more from and the blog post ain't good enough. We need more from 343 about what the hell is Halo Infinite going to be. I think I know what it is, but I shouldn't be assuming. You need to tell me what it is, right? I think the lineup that they showed, you said you bring in the confusion now. The fact that you had Matt Booty and you've had Phil Spencer the past few months talking about how no one gets left behind. Yep, Xbox One games are going to be playable, on Series X, cross-generational stuff, right? But then we get to your biggest show and you have mixed messaging on that. Be crystal clear on why you're seeing a Forza, a Fable, and Avowed not having a series an Xbox One tag on it. Explain why. Because they're so far out in development, by the time they come out, we will no longer be supporting the Xbox One, as far as our next generation games go. Say this so that you don't have Kotaku with their typical, clickbait articles trying to antagonize people into this stupid console war stuff. That's what happens when your messaging isn't tight and crystal clear. Like, was I happy with the games that I saw coming out of Microsoft Game Studios for the future? Absolutely. Am I happy with Game Pass now allowing them to take games like Halo and Forza and make them a platform and you don't have to worry about sequels anymore? Absolutely I am. Am I impressed with what the hardware of the Series X is on a technical standpoint? Yes, I am. Did they explain that in a crystal clear way on Thursday? Nope, they did not. And that's the problem. So I can understand what they're doing, their vision. I can see what Halo's going to be, but a lot of people don't. And that's who I'm speaking for right now. The people that don't understand what it is that they're doing, they need to explain that. Dummies like me don't need to be making blog posts and YouTube videos explaining it, because I don't work for Microsoft. It needs to be Microsoft that does that kind of stuff. And I think they did a subpar job of that on Thursday. I think Halo Infinite, look, COVID-19 is a real thing. I get it. I completely sympathize with that. I understand that. But this was your coming out party. You did not show that game for 2 years. So you showed an older build with no explanation as to why you showed an older build. And it underwhelmed people. That's on you. It is. I truly think when that game comes out at launch, it's going to be fine. But people don't know that in July. That's the problem right now. You let the multiplayer rumor kind of run wild for a little bit there. Squash that nonsense immediately. Instead of Chris Lee alluding during the Thursday event that multiplayer is coming, make it definitive. Multiplayer will be available at launch. We have a plan that you will find out more about in the coming days and months, right? Mm-hmm. Say this. Don't assume that people understand this. This is why you have these dumbass console wars, because you leave room for assumption. Leave no room for assumption. That's what Microsoft needs to do. So when they go into this event in August and they talk about the launch date, the price, Lockhart, whatever other services, Project xCloud, all this stuff, maybe they still have a secret game like Perfect Dark they might show. Be definitive with what you're going to do. Because I tell you what, Sony doesn't have to do that. PlayStation 5s are selling out this holiday. Doesn't matter what the launch lineup is, because they have proven it. They have the trust of the consumer. They have the reputation that Microsoft is still chasing. That's the problem right now. They're still in prove-it mode. You can have your pomp. Look, I said it to Aaron. If you're already invested in Xbox ecosystem, you're celebrating, because everything you saw looked great for the future. But not everyone is in the Xbox ecosystem. And you have to convince those people to, quote unquote, jump in to what you're trying to do. And I don't think they did a good job of that this week. So that's it. That's my rant. I'm done.
No, you know what? I'm 100, Parris. Most of the time we don't agree. But look, 100%.
I'm dropping my
100%.
AirPods. Go ahead.
No, I 100% agree. And here's the thing that I brought up to you guys a couple of days ago. And I know Aaron brought this up too during our interview, but imagine we were at E3, we had a huge crowd, and instead of dividing all these news from May to August, we'll get everything into 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and a half of just announcements. Do you think we would have been having a different conversation? Because I think we would have seen Halo in 4K at the event. We would have a totally different conversation, man. I personally think. People would have been excited. But Pete, let me finish. Go ahead. And we'll have a different. I think we would have a different conversation. Imagine having announcements like Perfect Dark. Look, let's keep it real. They pulled out Perfect Dark from there, and they're saving it for another event, maybe next month. Because if Sony comes next month and says, "Oh, let's make believe we have this game, SOCOM, or something big that is for launch," people are gonna get excited, So imagine if Microsoft would have put everything to this event and not have anything for August, and then they'll show the date and the price. We would have a totally different conversation. People will not get excited. You need to show content to make people to buy the console, man. You can't just show this, stay quiet, and that's it. You got to continue the conversation, man. Make announcements, have content, man, that is going to get people excited, man. So now August is going to be a very important month for both companies, for PlayStation and Xbox. They need to
disagree,
show
but go ahead.
No, I'm serious. This is why it's important. Yes, Sony going to sell their consoles. I know that, Parris. But the reason why I'm saying this is not because of the games. I'm talking about the price. The thing that helped Sony so much last generation was the price of PlayStation 4. It's a fact. It's a fact.
Okay.
Okay. No, but here's the thing.
It didn't matter.
Wait. What are you talking for launch? When they showed... Wait, Pete. Hold on a second. I'm talking about...
Okay, Danny.
Okay, let me finish at least. You're trying to tell me if you compare the press conference from Xbox 2013 and the press conference of PlayStation during that time, you're trying to tell me they had a better catalog? The thing that
it's irrelevant, though, Danny. That's what he's saying. That's irrelevant going into now, into 2020.
What I'm saying is it's about the price. It could be a game changer for any company for the next generation. Depends what they announce next month. Because let me tell you, if one of them says $499, $500, $599, do you think people are going to get excited? No, it's not. That's what I'm trying to talk about. It's all about the price. Are we going to have a different conversation if one of the consoles is cheap? That's what I'm trying to tell you. It could be a game changer. It was a game changer for PlayStation than the last generation. Personally, that's what I think. But
it's 20. Hold on, it's 2020, and Microsoft. We should not be having a Microsoft should have, would have conversation right now.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
That has been the problem. We shouldn't be apologizing or wondering what could have or what should have happened. Microsoft knows its industry. Microsoft knows its product, and unfortunately, they haven't been able to deliver. And yeah, that's what this show should have done. It should have delivered excitement, which it did to a point. But as you and I spoke about after the show, the one major thing that was missing, and we kind of know why they didn't do it, has been price. They haven't dropped the price because they're still playing that game of chicken with Sony right now because they know. And to a point, yes, price does affect that public perception. And right now, they're both playing chicken. And until one of them shows their hand in this, we don't know what direction or who's going to end up winning the lead up to sales. Mm-hmm. But again, I will double down on that on the comment that we shouldn't be having a Microsoft should have done this, or hey, if they would have done this, it would be no. They didn't. They dropped the ball.
Yeah, and adding on to what you're saying, you're spot on. Is that mattered in 2013 because we hadn't seen that huge of a gap of a price difference before. So absolutely, it early on gave PlayStation the advantage. But then over the next 7 years, they backed it up with an unparalleled exclusive lineup of games.
Yeah,
that was ultimately the difference. So as we sit here in 2020, it is pretty clear neither one of them is going to overprice their system compared to the competitor. That's why you're seeing this game of chicken right now. So at worst, even if the PlayStation 5 was $50 more than the Series X, which it most likely will not be, but let's just say it is, doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter at this point because, again, they have proven themselves to the point where, look, they even were like, screw it, we're up in production this year because they realize that's how high the demand is. I mean, I'll even tell you just inside baseball, when I was on the IGN thing. So I'm hearing numbers compared to the PlayStation event, compared to the Xbox event. Over double the people watched the PlayStation event than watched the Xbox event. That's the point that we're making right now. Xbox is still trying to prove themselves. So when you say that August is an important month for both of them, I disagree. PlayStation could do nothing the rest of the time. They could put out a freaking tweet. PlayStation 5 is November 11th and it's $4.99. Done. And it's going to sell out. Xbox doesn't have that luxury. They still have to get on a stage and they still have to market what their vision is, what they're trying to do. That's the difference right now. They are still trying to prove themselves. They, in my opinion, didn't show as strong enough of a launch lineup this year to sway people that aren't already invested in what they're doing. Halo Infinite still has work to do because it's what I've been saying for months. That has to be the game. And right now, people are questioning it. It is cannon fodder right now with memes. Mm-hmm. Craig the Brute. Everyone's laughing at that instead of celebrating. I listened to last night before the Sandman put dust in my eyes and went to sleep. I was listening to the Game Informer podcast, and they were giving their reaction on the game showcase, and they were laughing at Halo Infinite. These are quote unquote professional journalists, from a respected, media organization. They were mocking Halo like they were not understanding what the relevance of Halo was in 2020. They were mocking the fact that the people Jeff Keighley had on his pre-show Keighley's trying to get people interested in Halo and the guests could care less. They were talking about, that's something I played when I was a kid. I've moved on. That's the problem right now. Mm-hmm. Halo Infinite was supposed to reinvigorate people back into the Halo franchise and get them excited about it. They didn't do that. You only get one chance at a first impression is the point I'm trying to make. And they failed at that because they didn't make a great first impression. Now, you can look into the far future of what Xbox is doing. Again, I bring up a game like Avowed. You obviously see something like Fable, Everwild, even though they don't even know what Everwild gameplay is going to be yet. So even that's kind of a problem. But my point is, I can see down the road what they're doing and be excited about it. Another mistake they made. Why in the hell would you even have Ninja Theory come out if they weren't going to show the game? We've already seen it. Yeah. So to have them just give an update on, hey, we're doing Unreal Engine 5, but not show anything new, people aren't going to be happy with that. So these are the kind of missteps that I'm saying, why did you do this during your event? That didn't make sense to me, and they're correctable. Don't get me wrong. But when you're chasing, you can't screw up, especially when you already had the May event where you got feedback on. You saw what PlayStation did with their event, but then this was what you did for your event, and people walked away okay. Okay is not good enough right now. That's the point I'm trying to make. The game showcase wasn't terrible. There were great things in it. But there were good things in it, but there weren't great things in it. And that's the problem they have right now. They gotta wow people. They were supposed to wow us and they didn't. That's the problem right now. There's still time. They can still do it. But like Pete said before, when are we going to stop saying that? When are we going to stop saying they got time? They can fix it. They can fix it. Fix it.
We've been saying that for
years.
Just for
years.
Yeah,
just fix it. Wow me. Wow the most skeptical PlayStation person to go, you know what? Well, damn, that was amazing. Crap, I think I need an Xbox.
Turn in their Sony badge. Make them want to turn in that Sony badge and be like, you know what? I've supported this brand for X amount of years, but God damn it. Woo! You know, 2 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! I'm going to Microsoft. That's what we needed to see. And that's what we still need to see. We haven't had that moment yet.
You know, I was thinking about the other day. I felt like they should have just saved that announcement of Hellblade for this. I don't know what was the point of them bringing up like Ninja Theory to talk about the game. To me, that was like a waste. Might as well just not show anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. To me, that was like a waste of time. But I think if they would have revealed this at this game showcase, different conversation for sure. But yeah, you're right, man. That I think that was the biggest negative for me, was doing that. Just having Ninja Theory talking about the game again. I'm like, I don't know. That was whack. But I'm wondering, what could Microsoft do in August that will change the conversation from everybody else? Because if you say there's time, they cannot wait until launch to make that to make that change. It has to be now in August, right away, for the next thing. What do you guys think? Let's go with Parris first.
Well, first and foremost, I mean, all right, here's the price of Series X. You have to have it at a very consumer-friendly price. You have to show Lockhart. Again, the whole point of Lockhart is going to be the price. You have to explain, again, crystal clear, exactly what Lockhart is, so that people understand this is why it's $299 or whatever it's going to be. And we are focusing this at our 1080p audience, not our 4K audience. You got to be clear on that. Halo Infinite needs a redemption. So you need to show it again with a newer build and say, look, here's what it looks like. Or if this is the artistic style that you're going for, if this is the retro classic Halo CE style that you're going for, say it. Say it that this is our vision. This is what we want the game to look like. We think you're going to have fun inside of the sandbox, which I do think we will. I'm going to be crystal clear. I'm going to effing love Halo Infinite, right? Because I know I sound kind of negative on it. Day freaking one, because I can see what it is they're trying to do. I listened to what they said in the Q&A that we had. I get it, but I'm not 343 and I'm not Microsoft, so I'm not the spokesman for it. They need to explain that to the masses, right? So you got to do that. You have to say whatever. All right, here's multiplayer. Show us multiplayer. If they're going to have any kind of public flight ahead of time, explain, like, let people get their hands on it. Let us, the consumer, actually play that multiplayer and be excited about it. Get people streaming it, talking about it, create, like you say, Danny, create a buzz over it. Do that. Do these things. If the initiative was purposely held back because they're making Perfect Dark because you wanted to make sure you had one last bullet in the holster, all right, show it. Show it in August. Show me. Whatever Project xCloud name is going to be, show that. Explain what Project xCloud is going to be, all that. Do all these things to get people to want to be invested in your ecosystem and what you're doing. Because again, I will say it again. I believe in what Phil Spencer has been promoting about the vision of Xbox moving into the next generation of gaming, not leaving anyone behind, being on multiple platforms, inclusion. We're bringing the games to where you are. I do think that's the right move. I do think it was the right move to still allow early on Xbox One players to play these quote unquote next generation games. Just explain it correctly. That honestly, and this is the big problem that they've had, that they still have. Their messaging sucked in 2013 and it's only slightly improved since. That's the problem. I'll say one last thing. When you have on the same show, Bungie, who created freaking Halo, show Destiny 2 because it's coming to Game Pass. Trust me, I had the cheerleader outfit when I saw that. But when you see Destiny 2 on the same show as your flagship game that they created, and Destiny 2 looks miles better than what you showed with Halo Infinite, that's a problem.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
That's a problem.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Oh my God. I think I may have commented it during our stream, but I'm glad you did bring that up because if that's what Destiny 2 at 4K 120 looks like right now, or what it's purported
60,
to be,
not 120.
Well, it was just so it was what 4K 60.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did, but that did not look like Destiny when I watched it on the stream. That looked like a different game. That's how good it looked. And
that's Destiny 2 right now on the PC. That's how it plays right now. But that goes back to my point. You're seeing the people that created what you're trying to have a nostalgia feel for, and on the same show, that doesn't help with the messaging that you're putting out.
Yeah, you can't have somebody show you up on your own show. No, totally. Again, it's and so on the trailer itself, why was it that they didn't play the 4K version that they sent everybody after? Or is that just
stream?
YouTube's compression?
Stream. You can't. It's compression. Yeah. Because you watch the trailer of that, it looks beautiful. Like, wow, it doesn't look like what we got to see.
That's why Craig, but I mean,
Craig is Craig. Yeah, that's not. But that's why I was saying that if this would have been at E3 and we got to see it on the screen, I think it would have been different. Then we got to see it in the convention, but it was a live stream, so it looks. No, I'm serious.
So I think.
It would have been better looking, I think. 4K, you could watch 4K in person, not through a stream like that. Live.
My personal opinion on that expo and on that Halo demo that we saw on the stream, if that was an older build, why show that versus something newer and not a demo clip, right? Not an 8-minute run of a demo, knowing that demos typically run around 50% less assets and isn't truly indicative of what we see in the game, regardless of where it is in development, right? So if we know that it's a demo going out and it's 4 months out from release, we're guessing that it's a holiday break, right? We know that it's 4 months out. Why are you showcasing your flagship title at 50% of its capability, knowing everybody is going to shoot it down, knowing that everybody is going to have that talk? So, that kind of leads me into another thing I wanted to talk about. Everybody's talking about the way it looked, but when has Halo ever been realistic looking? We know people are apparently now expecting something that looked akin to like Last of Us 2 or Horizon or gave it that realistic feel. But when has Halo ever really looked like that? If anything, give me, like we just talked about, give me what Bungie showed for Destiny 2 on that. And I think we're having a different discussion. I think if we see that style of graphical fidelity, I think we're having a totally different conversation.
It's a combination of two things. It's the 5-year gap between games. It's when you initially showed Infinite 2 years ago, and then again last year, it's been this anticipation. It's been this buildup, the slip space engine, all this. So they built up expectations to expect something evolutionary with Halo. And what we saw wasn't. But going back to your point, I don't need Halo to be a graphical powerhouse. I honestly don't. But temper expectations then, if that's the case, so that everyone isn't anticipating that. Because the one of the big arguments I've seen online, and I have to agree with it. You're telling me that the Series X is this this hardware powerhouse, technical marvel, the whole thing. But then that was the game that you used to represent it. It doesn't represent it correctly. That's the problem right now. So, it's funny. I even said it to Aaron on the thing. I was shocked that Flight Simulator is not a launch game because, believe it or not, that's going to be a great representation of the power of the Series X when you get Flight Simulator, because I already know when I play it on PC, it's just going to look phenomenal. Even if Halo is your flagship as far as just the multiplayer and just open world and the platform and everything that you're doing, make sure you at least have something sitting alongside it that shows, this is what the Series X can do. We didn't get that Thursday. A game that would have been great because we had it in December, Hellblade 2, but we didn't see it. That's the problem right now. We're not seeing why you have the most powerful console. So they have to correct that, and they have to correct it ahead of time. They do that, they'll be fine.
do you think that maybe not showing or giving more shine to like Avowed or Stalker 2, Warhammer Dark Tide, or what was the other one that made me like that? It was the Medium.
The Medium.
Why not give those more spotlight versus the other ones? You know what I mean? Because
I'll tell you why. But go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that dual reality gameplay thing that threw me. And to be able to showcase both of those scenes in real time that showcased power versus what we saw with Halo.
Yeah, I think this is me thinking from like the marketing side. I think they wanted to highlight Halo the most and have content here and there that you'd be like, wow, but not show enough, and then show that later in the future. I think that's the reason why we got to see like an 8-minute gameplay and it's the flagship of the console. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think that's the reason why they did that. You know, because imagine they would have multiple gameplay and then it could outshine Halo. I think it would look bad, even worse for 343. That's what I think. I might be wrong, but you tell me.
That's an Xbox games showcase, not a 343 showcase. So if you have another game that does that, that's better for you as a total platform. That's good for you. Show me things that blow my mind time after time. Like if you would have given me 3 or 4 games that knocked me off of my feet, I'd be a hell of a lot more happy than just seeing, okay, well, Halo didn't hit expectations. Avowed got my ears perked, and, you know, like the Medium and Crossfire got me interested. You know what I mean? If you show me 3 or 4 things that knock me off my feet, we're having a totally different conversation, I think.
But it's like when we watched the Sony one, we didn't get to see Spider-Man gameplay. We only got to see Ratchet and Clank, and that got me excited more than anything else because we got to see the actual gameplay.
But you just brought up the point.
Yeah, but they never showed Horizon or anything like that. It was only one game gameplay, actual gameplay, like Ratchet and Clank. No, they show a trailer. The what?
Okay. Go finish what you're gonna say.
No. What I'm saying is when you see both of these showcase, is you will see one game with an actual gameplay, and everything else is like clips of that, but it's not the focus. You know what I'm trying to say? Like Ratchet and Clank was the conversation from. I mean, let's be real. Horizon and Spider-Man, everybody's talking about it too. But I'm talking about it was the most talked about because we got to see the gameplay of Ratchet and Clank. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the market.
I thought what they showed. I thought what PlayStation showed.
Hold on a second, because everyone's talking over each other. We keep talking over each other. We got to stop doing that. The only point that I was going to make on the Ratchet and Clank, honestly, that's the only game I have seen this entire year that's for next generation that was a wow moment. It's the only one was Ratchet and Clank, because I was like, okay, this is next gen. Okay, I see how you're taking advantage of the PlayStation 5. I get it. Sign me up day one. We've not seen another game that is quote unquote next gen that you've actually seen the real gameplay for. Like you said, Horizon, Fable, Forza, the rest. You've not seen anything. You've just seen clips and sizzle reels. You've not actually seen someone with a controller in their hand playing it, which, again, the thing that we kept saying about Halo was, what did we want? We wanted someone with a controller in their hand actually playing the game. We got that, but they did it with an older build, which we don't know why, probably COVID-19 related, whatever, but it didn't hit the way that people expected it to. And, you know, it's just a disappointment, unfortunately.
Yeah. And look, I hope that because of this feedback, and I'm going to keep it real, the production was way better in this time than the one in May. Hands down. No webcams, nothing, thank God. But I hope from now on, they'll get to see the feedback and they'll make it better and better and better, because that's the only way companies will make things better, man. You know, Nintendo messed up in the past, PlayStation messed up in the past, Xbox too, you know, and because of the consumers' feedback, that's when every company has been making changes and made the product even better because of that, man. PlayStation had a really pretty bad launch during the PlayStation 3, but guess what? Because of the feedback, they start creating content that was like freaking amazing, and then they learned from that and even made it better for PlayStation 4. That's what I would like to see for Xbox. Right now, from 2016 and up, amazing changes, and I think Xbox Game Pass is going to be a game changer for the industry overall. And you know what? From entertainment, period, that it's a major change. But again, people want better content. Just keep on making changes and show us that content is going to get everybody even more excited. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take time, but let's continue with the feedback, man. Send that feedback to every company, not just Xbox. So, Pete, you were going to say something?
No, I actually wanted to know if we were going to just focus on Halo and the showcase, or if we were going to talk about the rest of the games, because we've been here almost an hour just talking I know. This.
We're just passionate.
I want to talk about the rest of the showcase and your guys' thoughts on some of the other games.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I'm excited. I know not everybody are fans of this game, but I know Parris was hinting me like, hey, you're gonna be happy on this one. So I'm excited about Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. The reason is this is a brand new standalone game. There's a lot more things to do. The combat is going to be different than the older one. I'm very excited, and this is the first time this launching globally for free, and you could also transfer your character from the one that's out now to the new one. You could go back and forth if you want. And I'm excited about that, man. I'm a fan, and I know it got my brother excited too, and Arctic. So we're ready to go back and play some more. It's gonna be cool, man. Very, very cool. Very excited. Now, the game that stood out to me the most out of every other game that I can't wait to play is The Medium. I'm a big fan of the developers of the game. They worked on Layers of Fear Part 1 and 2, Blair Witch, and this game reminded me of Control a bit. From Remedy, and this could be also the Condemned launch title for Xbox. Condemned came out for the Xbox 360. I know I mentioned that in the live stream, so I'm excited about that. What else? What other games that stood out to me? Yeah, dude, I gotta give props to Obsidian, man. They already have 3 games back to back, all of them different, and it looks fun. Outer Worlds is good. Grounded looks really cool, and I love the joke, Parris. I thought about you about Cyberpunk. the part in the beginning of the trailer.
Yeah,
and that wasn't the only joke, because they put Battletoads, which was the only time you saw a mention of Battletoads in that entire showcase. What happened to that game?
Yeah. I heard there was reasons why I think the game got delayed. It hasn't been getting a lot of great feedback during the last time they showed at E3. So I think that's why they are making changes. So we'll see. Hopefully they can make the game better. But anyways, Evolved, that's what it's called, right? From Obsidian, the RPG.
Avowed.
RPG game.
Avowed.
Yeah, it looks
that's
Avowed.
Like and the thing that's cool about that is that it's set in the Pillars of Eternity universe, and it's basically it looks like their version of Skyrim. And we already know what Obsidian has been able to do with Bethesda style or Bethesda titles. So it's I'm very curious about that, because that did look very interesting.
Looks really dope.
Going back to your Crossfire comment, that's not a Remedy title. That's Remedy working on a port for Smilegate.
No. I didn't mention that game at all. What I'm saying is the Medium, the style, it reminds me of Control, the actual game Control. Okay. Which is from Remedy. That's what I was saying.
From Remedy. Okay. I confused your commentary. I thought you were talking about Crossfire.
No. I don't know anything about that
which
game.
Remedy is handling, because Remedy is handling their port. That's the thing. And that is a first-person Call of Duty / CSGO style game. So in that, I hope Remedy doesn't add their crazy, weird Alan Wake mental things into a game like that, right? I want that to be like focus on what you're going to be and not take it away from what Crossfire X or Crossfire actually is as a title and as a game genre.
Okay, cool. Anything else?
I want to talk about the confusion of messaging. Some games are Xbox Series X and PC. Some games include the Xbox One. what happened to all games, we could play all games and nothing will be left behind.
We did mention
there's going to be there's going to be no generational only titles. What happened to that? Like, I just want to have an overall conversation on that. Like, what happened to that messaging? Like, is it or isn't it?
It is, but again, the confusion comes down to they showed games that are still a couple years out. So those games will be Series X only. They won't be Xbox One compatible. And then Aaron Greenberg was at Inside Gaming, or I feel like he was talking to Alana Pierce when he said this, but he talked about that there's also going to still be options even down the road where it's up to the developer. If a game can make sense to still be on Xbox One, they'll put it on there. But again, don't tell me these things during an interview with a gaming website. Tell me during your show. Make it clear. Again, they're not making it clear. So this is why you get the confusion. They are the games that are coming in the next 12 to 18 months will still be playable on Xbox One. Anything beyond that, you can't expect it to be on Xbox One. It's going to be built. What would Aaron say? It's going to be built with Series X first in mind. So if it's taking true advantage of the SSD, things like that, and you can't play it on an Xbox One, then it won't be on an Xbox One. But these games that are coming soon will still be on Xbox One. I shouldn't be explaining that. They should be explaining it. This is the problem that I'm 100%. Saying it.
Yeah. They should have like blog posts or show that during the showcase, explain it instead of going to one website and that's it. And I didn't know that he mentioned that, Parris, until you mentioned it now. That's confusing.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You can't do that. Was there any game, Parris, that stood out to you that you were like, okay, this is dope. This is dope.
Like I even said on IGN, ones that stood out to me was As Dusk Falls. I love that type of game. The style that they're going for there, that's for sure something I would want to play. Stalker 2 being on the Series X looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, that, when we talk graphically and everything, that looked really good. I think Remedy doing the campaign for Crossfire X looks very interesting to me. Mm-hmm. I've never been a State of Decay person. I've just never invested in it, but seeing what they're hinting at towards for State of Decay 3, interested, want to see more about it. And then of course, Tim Schafer, Psychonauts 2, I mean, Double Fine. I mean, just, having Jack Black coming out there singing that whole thing. So that, yeah, of course, I'm very interested in that as well. And then, like I alluded to before, Destiny 2 coming to Game Pass is huge if you're into Destiny, because it's basically just giving you another platform that you get to play with with your friends, right? Because with it coming to Game Pass, now every expansion is included. You'll still have to buy the season pass stuff, but you're getting the expansion. So when Beyond Light drops, you own it. If you own Game Pass on Xbox, Series X is going to have 4K 60 frames. So now we're getting up to where the PC is. If they include an FOV slider on console, I might start playing on Xbox. I'll be honest with you. I definitely might start playing more on Xbox when the Series X comes out, because, I play with Trey and all that kind of stuff. So that's just giving me even more incentive to want to go play on console again instead of playing on PC.
Is that going to be crossplay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That's the thing. Well, what they're doing is the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions will be quote unquote cross. What did they say? Cross generational. So you will be able to play. So Xbox One players will be able to play with Series X players. PS4 players will be able to play with PS5 players. PC cool. And PC and Stadia will still be separate. But
why Stadia?
Eventually they want to get to true crossplay eventually. Yeah. That's probably on the 2021 roadmap, where we get true crossplay, where it doesn't matter what platform you're on, everyone's just playing together. So it's coming. Yeah. They've openly talked that's an aspiration. So it's eventually going to come.
I have to mention this one game that I'm excited, but I have a lot of questions, so I don't want to be too excited. Is Everwild. Looks beautiful. The game looks... I think that's the game that stood out to me the most out of everything that they showed. But we don't know what this game is about. Is it an RPG? Is it an adventure? Is it only online co-op? What this game is about? I'm confused. Is it you collecting animals? I don't know. It
Well,
looks
but again, that's why I left it off the list, because I'd mentioned that on IGN as well. Like, it was a game I wanted to know more about. We saw more. It's definitely, it looks like something straight out of the mind of Miyazaki, which excites me. But Rare has admitted they're still tinkering with gameplay, so they don't even know what the hell it is. So that literally tempered my excitement.
Yeah,
they're still messing around with gameplay, so we don't know what it is.
But it got you interested. And like, I see what you mean, Parris, about it giving you Miyazaki vibes, but it kind of also looked like Breath of the Wild. So it looked like a bastard child of those two. Again, we don't know what the gameplay structure, hell, I don't even know if Rare knows what the gameplay loop is going to be in that. And to answer your question, Danny, I think it was just to put it out there to gauge interest, to see if people were interested in something like that. Because it's an idea.
Yeah, I mean, now that's twice that they show the trailer of that game.
So going back to what we were talking about Xbox One and Xbox Series X versioning, I'm kind of seeing something here now where if they didn't list Xbox One, it's not, like you said, Parris, it may not be for the next 12 to 18 months. So maybe that's how we trigger or how we look at game releases, right? If it's not going to be on a Xbox Series X or Xbox One, maybe we're looking at 2 years out. And Everwild was one of those. It didn't list Xbox One at the end of the trailer. And like, I went through almost all of them and watched it again. Like, Avowed only showed Xbox Series X and PC. Like Hellblade 2 showed all generations. So Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. Like Stalker 2 and Darktide, no mention of Xbox One. The Medium.
Forza.
Only Xbox Series X and PC, but Crossfire showed Xbox One and Xbox Series X, so it was like, and Fable was another one that showed Xbox Series X and PC. So it's like, maybe those are those 2 or 3 years. And I think Mandy mentioned this in the Discord channel where we're talking about it, is that there's not many games, and I think we've all talked about it. There's not many games out there right now that are really truly handling, whether it's UE5 or true next gen, and we won't see those for the next 2 or 3 years. So maybe those are your next gen titles, whereas Crossfires and Halo Infinite are those generational ones that bob and weave in between the two.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
At the end of the day, Pete, it's all about the communication, man. Because right now, that sounds very confusing. That's number one. Number two, I mentioned this plenty of times, that it's okay to show a trailer and don't show dates, but at least have communication. Because if there is no communication, it creates confusion. Why show that if it's not ready? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that's the issue that I have with that stuff, man. So right there, what you just said is confusing as hell for like the normal person that doesn't read like websites and look for content about video games and just buy games. But if they see the trailer like that, it's going to confuse them. It reminds me of Wii U, when people will buy games for the Wii U and they have the Wii thinking it was going to work and then it doesn't work. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what, I don't know. That's just confusing as hell. But yeah, go ahead, Pete. Parris. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to follow up on what Pete was saying as far as a game like Forza is not going to be on Xbox One. Like, they're literally building the next generation of Forza specifically for the Series X and the PC. And this kind of goes into the conversation we even brought up with Aaron, that Game Pass is allowing them to take a game like Forza and a game like Halo and make them platforms now. There's no longer going to be quote unquote Forza sequels. They're just building the Forza platform, and you're going to continue to build and iterate on top of that, because as a company, again, this goes back to the whole thing I'm talking about, where I agree with Xbox's vision and I like it, because Game Pass allows them to get away from forcing out sequels. They can just build a platform, iterate on it, and just you're a subscriber. So you don't need a sequel to generate sales because you're a subscriber. It makes a lot of sense. And the fact that they're taking their time with Forza and they didn't rush out a Forza title for launch, but instead let's build a proper Forza title that truly takes advantage of this next gen hardware and PC hardware excites me. So let's see what Forza is eventually going to look like in the next year or two. You know what I mean? And in the meantime, they have Forza Horizon, and like Aaron said, you upgrade that for Series X, and you just continue to use that for the next couple of years until the true Turn 10 Forza is ready. So, I know we've been pretty brutal today on Xbox. And honestly, I think a lot of it just comes down to messaging and communication. They still need to get better at that. But if you peel the layers back and you see what it is that they're attempting to do with they're pushing gaming forward. They're pushing it into, they're getting out of the old era of hardware, exclusive games, sequel. They're turning this gaming more into a service, which Game Pass obviously is leading the way on that. They're becoming platform agnostic, which I like. You know what I mean? And that, as a gamer, forget this loyalty to a brand. As a gamer, that should excite you, because they're trying to bring games to you where you want to play, where your friends are, versus trying to force you to go where they think you should go. The future excites me for stuff like that. I just wish they would be crystal clear on all this kind of stuff, so we're not wasting 1 hour and 1 minute ranting and raving about why didn't this look this way? Why they're talking about this? Why aren't they talking about that? I'd rather just be excited about the games and the services that they're having. So August, fix it. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. Fix it so that we're just excited about what they showed. Look, you know what? I want people to accuse me of being an Xbox fanboy, because damn it, I tell you, that's the other thing that happened after all this. Like, people were mad at me for liking the show, and then other people were mad at me for not liking it enough. Which one is it? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to just be accused of being an Xbox fanboy, because I just want to have my pom-poms out and I'm just cheerleading and I'm celebrating everything they're doing. That's what I want from this. This week didn't do that for me, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Anything else, Pete, before I wrap it up?
Danny has nothing to say. He was like, I don't like what you said, so just move on.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm going to say something, but I was going to wait for Pete to say something.
No. Go ahead.
Okay.
You have the floor, sir.
No,
You
what
have
I'm saying is that I don't see us as being brutal, Parris. It was more of a conversation as a fan of just gaming in general. We want to see good games, man. We want to see better products, better services. That is going to be better for everybody overall. If we get to see companies going all out, dropping mics left and right, because now we have better options. Games are going to be cheaper. Content is going to be better. But if we don't say anything, and we're always saying that it's bad, and it's good, without saying why, it's not going to help, man. So I've been around for a while, been going to all these events from Xbox 19 years ago now. You too, Parris, with E3, right? Pete, been doing this for years too, man. And I think we're just being, serious about this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I want the companies to succeed. I want that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If people take this personal, then something is wrong with them. Don't go to social media and attack us because we're not celebrating, with pom-poms out there. It's good to be critical, man. I want Xbox to win, man. That was the conversation I had with Ryan. I think it was a week ago or so. And he said it too, man. He wants to see Xbox at least get a win for once. And it's been a while that we haven't seen that from the company. They're almost there. They're almost there, but they could do better.
You bring up a good point when you just said when you had Ryan on, and like he said he just wanted Xbox to get a win. I don't think this was it. And that's the problem. This wasn't the win that we needed to see from Xbox. And then you bring up just something as far as legacy when it comes to you and I. Yo, there's pictures of you 2001 with Bill Gates. You know what I'm saying? At the launch of the Xbox. You got pictures of me at E3 2001 that I just recently found where I'm literally playing Project Gotham Racing and Halo in 2001. So it's like we're critical because we've seen the 19-year path that they've been on. There's been highs, there's been lows. And we just simply, as gamers, competition makes everything great. So I want Xbox to compete. If they compete and continue to do these innovations, we're the ones that win. So I just want them to properly communicate this vision that they have so you get more people on board with it. Because Game Pass is the freaking future. period. I will say that until I'm proven wrong. That's the future of gaming. That makes so much sense to me because it frees up developers to be creative. It frees up developers to take more risk. Look, with risk, you're going to have failures, but you're also going to have huge successes as well. And that's where we need to get to. If we can get out of this thing of the next game I put out didn't sell well enough, so now I got to shutter the studio. Game Pass alleviates that for people that are in Microsoft Game Studios. They can take crazy ass risks. They can do things outside the box. And that's how we continue to innovate in this industry. So trust me, I want them to get that win. Like Ryan said, I want the Series X to be a success. I want Halo to be amazing, Forza Fable on down the road, because if they win, guess what? That now pushes PlayStation and Nintendo to step their game up to compete with them. It's literally it's a circle. And the more that these companies innovate and keep pushing the industry forward, we're the ones that win out of all this kind of stuff. So that's all I want from Xbox. So I really hope in August we see some different messaging from them and all the stuff makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm. And please announce Ninja Gaiden too. All right, there you go. Pete, you want to say anything before we wrap it up? No,
I think it's been a hell of a damn good show, dude. We covered a lot.
Hell yeah!
And
hell yeah.
Again, yeah. Like we've all said, just clarify your messaging. Like stick to one thing and just and push it. I don't think they've done a good enough job on that. And you know what? Just give me the right Halo. Give me the Halo that I want to talk about for the next 6 to 9 months or year. You know what I mean? Give me that, and I think I'll be happy. That's all I really asked for.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to episode 1055. And let us know your thoughts, good or bad. Make sure to contact us. And here's how you could send us an email or voicemail.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so head over to gamertagradio.com, and also you can find us on any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio. And let us know what your thoughts about the show. And we're getting ready for more content in the future, so stay tuned with that, man. All right. Until next time, we're out. Peace.
What's going on, Gamertag Radio? It is Keon calling from Baltimore. I hope you brothers are doing well. I just wanted to let you guys know I saw the Xbox showcase, and I thought that the show was a 6 out of 10. Yeah, it didn't really do it for me. A lot of the games we had already seen before, and I will say the positive thing about the show was that all of the games that were shown will be in Game Pass. That is fantastic, but I think the show actually shows us the direction that Microsoft is going in, and I think they are going for the AA experience overall on their box, on their console. And, I mean, that's good. I mean, they'll sprinkle in a few AAAs here and there, but to me, it was overall not an impressive show, but I do commend Microsoft for at least trying to bring a few new IPs to the table and finally showing off Fable. Those are my thoughts. You brothers are great, and I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.